My musicality started in Nigeria. I was born in Nigeria, and I started playing percussion instruments, congas, bongos, all these kinds of things, handbells, when I was about 3. And I never looked at it as something which I was going to do, I'll grow up and be a musician or anything of that sort. It was just something I did because that's what the cool guys did, and I wanted to be cool at 3. And then I came to the UK, and at about 9, I stopped doing music totally. So between 9 and 18, I didn't do any music, and then about 18, a friend heard my voice, heard me singing, and he said, "Oh, you should do something with this." And that's where my musical journey began. I started singing. I joined some boy bands. I joined 2 of those. We started, we ended. It was a disaster. And then I got to a point where I wanted to start writing music and not having to rely on anybody else. So I decided that I wanted to learn to play piano, and I bought a second-hand keyboard and started teaching myself, and that's how everything started, really, and I'm still learning today. Every day I'm learning and trying to improve. Life is a constant thing that you are doing. Whether you think you want to or not, you are living. You have no choice in this. So all of us can experience lessons in life. This is how I feel. All of us can experience lessons in life and the ways to have a fulfilling, happy, fruitful life through whatever passion you have. In my case, my passion is music. So I'm always learning many life lessons in music. Let me see. An example I could give is, okay, for example, right. So I decided a while back that I wanted to learn to tune acoustic pianos. Because I play piano, so I didn't want to pay money all the time when I was broke to the guy who would tune the pianos. And on a piano, for people who don't know, every note on the piano has 3 strings. And what you have to do is you have to make sure that all these 3 strings are in tune with each other. Now, it's a very tricky process because you have to turn your instruments to turn the pegs that hold the strings. But sometimes you get very close to tuning in and it's too close. You move this way slightly, you're too sharp. You move this way slightly, it's too flat. And you have to detune the string way out to tune it again, to start again. So the life lesson I took from this was that sometimes you're trying to achieve something and sometimes you're very close, but you never quite do it. And you have to really go away, go somewhere else, go out of tune sometimes before you can come back in tune again. So for me, I think music is one of those things that if you look at it the right way, you can learn many life lessons and go on with your life. At the beginning of my music learning, and this is just my personal approach, I had to be very active in the sense that I had to practice scales, which I still do. I had to practice all my basics, whether it be on voice, piano, percussion, whatever it is. But the further along that I've gone, what I've realized in the last year or so from watching a lot of videos, reading a lot, talking to people, is that the more advanced players who I really respect, my heroes, they work very much on concepts. So they've got the basics together, and I'm sure they keep practicing the basics because you always practice the basics for your whole life. But they then start working on concepts, maybe taking a shape of something and moving it around, or maybe doing something where you limit yourself and you say, I'm going to play this song, but I'm going to avoid playing all the 7th notes of all the chords, or I'm going to, there's some kind of conceptual thing. And that is what then leads to you creating things which are fresh, so you're not doing the same thing over and over again. It leads to creating patterns which are different to what you're used to, but even people who aren't trained musicians can understand that, because it's something which is very human. The thing of patterns, we're always looking for patterns, visual patterns, aural patterns, all these things. So my suggestion to everybody would be that you do a mix of both, that you do practical things but you also do a lot of talking, you do a lot of reading, a lot of listening, a lot of watching. Currently, I'm reading for the second time Herbie Hancock's autobiography, and one of the things he said in it was that he practiced a lot, of course, when he was younger, but he got to a particular stage when he started trying to really learn about jazz, where he said a lot of people would practice 6 hours a day, and in his case, he practiced no more than 1 hour a day, maybe 1 hour, 1.5. But for the remaining 23 hours, 22 hours of the day, he would talk about music, listen and discuss about music a lot. So he was constantly thinking about it, constantly conceptualizing. So it's the balance of the two things, I think, is important. And also the thing of talking, listening, reading is about the inspiration that you get with music. So there's the internal inspiration you have of playing, which comes directly from you. And then watching other people, speaking to other people, reading other things. This gives you external inspiration that feeds your internal inspiration. So it's a circle. The external feeds the internal feeds, feeds the external, and it's a circle. So do both. Just enjoy yourself. That's what I'd say is, one, music is about emotional impact. So it needs to move people emotionally. It doesn't matter if you can do scales at 600 miles an hour. The most important thing is that what you're saying means something, and it has an emotional impact or response from yourself first. And hopefully, if you feel an emotional impact, lots of other people will feel the same. Enjoy yourself, because if you don't enjoy yourself, sooner or later your passion will die. So you must keep trying to find ways to enjoy yourself. Always be musical. If you're practicing things like scales or whatever it is, try and do it not just in a da 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 da. Try and make something musical. Da 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 da. Have fun with it. Basically, anything that you want to get really good at, do it a lot. So I talked about, and I will talk about at the clinic stroke masterclass thing that we're doing, the get together that we're doing, that there is no such thing as easy or difficult. There's only familiar and unfamiliar. And I learned this from watching a documentary myself, watching things. So everything that you're familiar with is easy. Everything that you're unfamiliar with is hard. So if you want to be able to do something, get familiar with it. Spend a lot of time talking about it. Spend a lot of time doing it, thinking about it, etc. And that's about it. Just enjoy yourself. Don't take things too seriously, or yourself too seriously. Don't worry too much. Playing with someone like an Amy Winehouse or something like that, or Jesse J. Marcos or whoever. That kind of situation, you're playing in front of a very large audience. You're playing in quite a big situation, in that you're not only playing music, you're dealing with management, you're dealing with the transport, you're dealing with when you get to the festival guys saying this is where you need to be, blah, blah, blah. So there are a lot of different things you're dealing with there. They're wonderful experiences. You're meeting a lot of people because you're doing a lot of traveling. So there's a lot of learning to be had that way. But with those kind of situations, generally, actually, it's not that it's uncreative, but it's less spontaneous. It tends to be more a case of, this is the song, it starts from here and it ends here. And you do this, and there's a skill in that. The skill in this is about concentration and being able to execute the things you're supposed to do at the right times. Now, when you're playing with your friends or in a smaller group situation with people who are not so well known, and maybe it's more of a freer situation, then this is more about, okay, how can we do things where we are very much listening to each other, which you're doing in the Amy situation, the big situation as well. You're listening to each other to get your balances, but it's now more a case in the smaller situation of reacting to things. So someone acting and reacting, someone does something, and then you hear that and you go, oh, okay, that makes me think of this. Then you react to this thing. And then because you react and you do something, someone else hears that and goes, oh, that makes me think this. And there's that kind of thing going on. So there is a real beauty in that spontaneity that happens. There's a real beauty in the intimacy that you get of a very small venue with only a few of you and you're very close to the audience. There's something very wonderful and galactic about sitting there on a big stage in front of 80,000 people. So my key for me, what I'm trying to do in my life, and I would share this and hope that other people try it as well, is just try and enjoy all the different situations you're in, because each of them has something cool about it that you can take away. And just, really, it is. Just enjoy yourself. Don't take things too seriously and work hard. But play hard, enjoy yourself, and live.